This is my audience. Today I will be giving a presentation about the history of connections of Brackenridge Park. Established in 1899 and sitting on 400 acres of land along the San Antonio River, Brackenridge Park is an iconic part of San Antonio's history. Named after the philanthropist George W. Brackenridge, this park has a long history with not only the city, but with the very land itself. Before I get into the history of the park, I want you to try to picture a park in your mind. What are some of the first characteristics you think of? When I think of a park, I think of trees, grass, and maybe a playground. Brackenridge has all of these things, but what sets it apart from all the other parks you've been to before? Today I'll be explaining why Brackenridge's connection to the land San Antonio and to its namesake make it, per the Brackenridge Park Conservatory, the most culturally significant park in the United States. Before Brackenridge was the park we know and love today, it was actually the land of the Puyallup people. The Puyallup people of the Qualby-Tacons Nation find themselves living along the banks of the Yanagana River. The environment that the river creates allows them to enjoy access to food, shelter, and water. And as hunter-gatherers, this is nothing short of an oasis. But the Puyallup people aren't the only ones who can see that. Soon the Spanish arrive. And with them comes the colonization of the land and the displacement of the tribes. The Spanish named the land San Antonio, and upon it they built missions and Spanish acequias, or hand-dug ditches used for irrigation. The developed land is now a far cry from the one that the Puyallup people once knew it to be, but the development doesn't end there. 85 years later, a tannery built by the Confederate Army and a later established sawmill bring water-powered machinery and the industrial era to the land. 12 years after that, the city of San Antonio contracted John Baptiste Lacoste to build the first water pump house. This established a water system for the city and created the beginning of the San Antonio Water Works Company. George W. Brackenridge would then become the president of the company, but before that, he lived a pretty interesting life. In the book George W. Brackenridge, Maverick Philanthropist, Marilyn McAdams Sibley documents his journey from birth to death. George Washington Brackenridge was born in southern Indiana on January 14, 1832. Keeping with the family tradition, he was named after a president of the United States. His father encouraged him to take on the responsibilities of manhood from a young age. Following this, George traveled to Port Lavaca, Texas with a supply of merchandise to trade. This move provided him with the knowledge that Texas was on the verge of an economic boom and would soon be more than profitable for merchant business. Seeing the profits his son brought back, John Adams Brackenridge traveled to Texas himself. Finding the conditions favorable, he purchased land in Jackson County in 1851 and later opened a mercantile business in Texas. While his family's fortune rose with this business, George's own fortune wouldn't be seen until the Civil War, where he would begin working with James H. Bates. They would purchase cotton directly from growers and secretly ship it out to New York, evading the Confederate state cotton export ban. After the disbandment of the company following Bates' death, and with the increasing danger of war, George had to flee the South for safety. In 1863, President Lincoln appointed George as a federal treasury agent. He spent the next couple of years in Louisiana until 1866, where he returned to Texas. 3 years later, he purchased riverfront land along the San Antonio River, which would lay the groundwork for the future park. In 1899, George would go on to donate the original 199 acres of land that would later become Brackenridge Park. That donation led to the beginning of one of San Antonio's most iconic parks. The park would soon see drastic change in the 1920s and 30s with the additions of a zoo, a museum, playgrounds, a golf course, a swimming pool, an amphitheater, and sunken gardens. These attractions gave locals a place to relax and have fun. Even now, these places continue to be important parts of the park, but one particular attraction wouldn't be added until the 1950s. The Brackenridge Eagle opened its miniature carriage doors to the public in 1957. This iconic train, now run and operated by the San Antonio Zoo, runs a 3-mile circuit through the park. But Brackenridge Eagle wasn't actually the first mini train in the park. Sitting on a small oval of tracks east of the Joski Pavilion, the first Brackenridge Park miniature railway was actually introduced in 1948. While it may not seem like it, these two trains are a great example of how even as time moves on and things change, Brackenridge will always find a way to hold on to its roots. From the lands of the Puyallup people to the Spanish-built missions, Brackenridge Park has been a gathering place for roughly 12,000 years. And while it has changed, the practice of gathering on the land clearly has not. The history of the land and the traces left behind by the people who once roamed it make Brackenridge an increasingly important historical place. It is designated as a National Antiquities Landmark and is also listed on the National Register of Historic Places. but it's the continued gathering of people that makes the park into something else entirely. Brackenridge is more than just a simple park. It's a living, breathing piece of history. Its connection to the land, its namesake, and to San Antonio make Brackenridge into the park that it is today. I hope the next time that you visit Brackenridge, you can see it through with new eyes and with a better understanding of its importance to the land, the city, and maybe even to yourself. Thank you.